Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Been very frustrating because I've done everything asked of me, plus more, beating more top 10 fighters than Wilder and Fury have beaten. Once again, I'm taking another dangerous fight, so that's just my thing, man. You know, I just keep working, keep having hard fights, keep growing, and keep having fan-friendly fights, because I can easily disappear off to America and run off into the night and fight. I'm nobody's. I make good money doing that, you know. But I choose not to. I choose to stay at home and have good fights.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. And you know, if anybody wants a hard fight, if anybody wants all the smoke, it has to be Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. Let's be honest and unbiased. This guy has fought Joseph Parker. He's fought Anthony Joshua. He's made offers to Andy Ruiz, to Tyson Fury. He's been made offers to Deontay Wilder, and he had Wilder turn down fights. He had Ruiz turn down fights. He had Fury turn down fights. And so, we know that Dillian Whyte wants all the smoke. He's fought Joseph Parker. He's fought an undefeated, dangerous Oscar Rivas. We know that Dillian Whyte is a fighter who wants the smoke. And what's crazy is you see that Andy Ruiz is coming out stating that he is the A side. And let's just really break down what's been going on between these two guys. And you see that, over the last few days, Dillian Whyte and Andy Ruiz have been, attacking each other via social media. You see Dillian Whyte coming out, basically saying that Andy Ruiz has lost his mind. May God help him, pray for him that he's able to get back into the gym. Basically showing an abnormally large man on Twitter, just trying to humiliate Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz turns back, strikes back at him, shows Dillian Whyte getting stopped by Anthony Joshua and tell him to stop talking trash and hold this L. So, let's just get to the crux of the real matter. Over this past, earlier this year, you see that Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte had made a 7-figure offer for Andy Ruiz to fight Dillian Whyte. And they made two offers. They made an offer for America, and they also made an offer for the UK. So they wanted to be, very open to Andy Ruiz, no matter where he wanted, whether he wants to fight in America on his home turf, or whether he'd be willing to travel to the UK and fight, Dillian Whyte there. So, I think that was very open. And the fact that it's a 7-figure offer is a massive offer for Andy Ruiz coming off of a loss. He's not a superstar. He's not Anthony Joshua. He's not a huge big name. He has gained fame and notoriety, but he's not the level of those type of fighters. And then they didn't get any traction with the 7-figure offer, so Eddie Hearn increased the offer, and Andy Ruiz started negotiating and responding to him. And this is per Talk Sport and Michael Benson. And then you see that, Andy Ruiz, we didn't hear anything about the fight. It disappeared. And then he came out and said that he's about to announce his comeback, and turns around and says Dillian Whyte rejected the fight. Dillian Whyte rejected the fight. Now, that's very odd to even hear him say that. And, you see Dillian Whyte comes out, and you see that basically saying that Andy Ruiz didn't want to fight, so he had to fight Povetkin because that was pretty much his only alternative, because Andy Ruiz simply didn't want to fight. We know Andy Ruiz needs to get in shape after the Anthony Joshua fight. We know he needs to get in better shape, but you could say that literally the exact same thing for Dillian Whyte. He needed to get in shape because he fought on that exact same card, and he was massively overweight as well. So both of these guys needed to get back in shape. Both of these guys needed a big win, and both of these guys want to be in title contention. And plus, it was a 7-figure plus offer for the United States or the UK. It seemed very reasonable and logical that these two guys should fight. It would have been a brilliant fight, a close fight, and many people believe it would be a 50-50 fight. And yet, Dillian Whyte's frustration is, why would Andy Ruiz turn this offer down? Let's be honest and unbiased. And then, it's recently come out where Andy Ruiz has stated that nope, in response to a fan asking him about him turning down the fight, he said, he threw him a low ball offer. He's the A side, Dillian Whyte's the B side. He got to get his paper right to fight me. So Andy Ruiz is not saying that he wants to be great. Andy Ruiz is not trying to get a title fight. He's simply saying he didn't get enough money. But you got to be honest and unbiased. Andy Ruiz is no cash cow, and he was only to demand more money from Anthony Joshua because he was in a position of leverage. And his only leverage was the fact that he had those belts. Once Anthony Joshua beat him, he had no leverage. He has no huge fan base to draw from. So what is he talking about? Let's be honest and unbiased. But the problem with this is, Andy Ruiz talking about, like he's a cash cow, like he's going to be able to make huge money in seven-figure paydays no matter who he fights. That's odd because he's stating that he wants a tune-up for his next fight, and it won't be Luis Ortiz. There's a lot of rumors that it could be either Adam Kwanaki or it could be Chris Arreola. And here's the interesting thing. We know that Kwanaki wouldn't be a tune-up because at the time that they were discussing this, he was undefeated and he was perceived as a potentially dangerous opponent for Ruiz. So if you wouldn't fight a Luis Ortiz coming off a knockout and you're stating you want a tune-up, why would you even entertain a Kwanaki? It didn't make sense. And so, it makes more logical sense that if he wants a tune-up for a tune-up, then it looks like Chris Arreola was the guy that he would take the fight against. And that's the fight that's still being rumored and speculated about. Look, let's just be honest and unbiased. We understand that Andy Ruiz has already stated that Dillian Whyte has rejected the fight, and he's been caught in a lie, basically saying, hey, he threw me a lowball offer, but earlier he said that Dillian Whyte rejected the fight. So let's be honest and unbiased. We know that Andy Ruiz simply does not want to fight Dillian Whyte. He's not interested in that fight. He does not want that smoke, and it's even a potentially winnable fight for him, but at the end of the day, he rejected the fight. He's shown no interest in the fight. If he really wanted to fight, and that was a fight that made a lot of sense. Both of the guys are out of shape. Both of the guys needed a huge step up fight, and both of the guys want to be in title contention. Both of the guys want a massive payday, and this would probably be one of the biggest and best fights in heavyweight boxing. This is why boxing is suffering, because these guys don't want to step up, and Andy Ruiz obviously wants no smoke with the body snatcher Dillian Whyte. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.